All right, Joe, as we wind down this conversation, we want to make sure that our audience understands the guardrails that should be in place. And one thing that's major, you mentioned this earlier, is ensuring that no personal identifiable information
Correct.
ever touches one of these AI platforms, right?
Yep. No personal information. Don't utilize it for legal or compliance review. It's never going to be perfect, and you're never going to be able to go back and be like, oh, well, AI told me I could do that. It's never going to hold up. So just make sure you still follow those compliance things. Make sure that you're still reading and double checking and putting your own authenticity to anything content-wise that it's creating for you. And just remember, it is still a machine that's working with you. So it's never going to be perfect. And that's where you really want to, keep working with it. But keep it within those guidelines and don't step outside of those.
Are there any other mistakes that our audience should avoid, similar to not relying on AI for compliance? Are there any other pitfalls?
Well, I'm sure there's probably a lot. If you look at the lawsuits that have happened out there, one of them is the data. I mean, some of the data that it gives back to you, it hallucinates. And so just taking it for fact is risky, especially when a lot of people are feeding a ton of data into these platforms and they're just taking it for its word because it's so complex that it's accurate. It may not be. And in my opinion, even with Claude and I feed it a ton of data, I see errors a lot.
Yeah.
In my opinion, it's not the best at computing data. It's great at coding, not the best at data. And it hallucinates more than I would definitely like it to. So those are the things, and I think we said it earlier, that fact checking is going to be critical, because the first time you put something out there that's inaccurate, one, you're putting your name on it. So now your credibility is going down. And then if it doesn't sound like you just lost trust. And so it's really hard to gain that trust, to earn that trust. And now you got to keep it. And you can diminish that relationship rather quickly by trusting AI too much.
One thing to keep in mind when you're using AI is that what you tell it not to do is often as important as what you are telling it to do. So set up these guardrails with what we're talking about and tell AI to avoid these things. The last thing I'll say on the topic is there's also a lot of words, sentence structures and phrases that are automatic AI tells now. These platforms have been around now for months, and with ChatGPT's case, over a year. There's a lot of AI generated content out there, and it's becoming easier than ever to tell what it is. And that's another quick way to lose trust.
I can tell now when it is a Claude made website. I can tell because the template, it almost always looks the same. So as soon as I see a website that's newer, if it has a certain layout, I can tell immediately Claude did it. Because there's so many of them that look alike now. Same thing on LinkedIn. There is a certain phrase that it always does, like where it's like, well, it's not this, it's this.
Yes.
It is nonstop and everybody's posting it, and I can't even entertain reading it because I'm like, oh my gosh, stop doing that. So we're well past the M- stage and stuff like that. We're now realizing those phrases are non-stop. And so you almost can't trust it as much at all anymore. And it is kind of sad to see how many people still don't realize, wow, we know that's not you. The other thing that surprised me is when people comment on LinkedIn and it's a telltale sign that they used AI to comment. And I'm like, you can't even come up with a comment by yourself. You have to use AI to give your own, like, now we're taking it too far, in my opinion.
No, that's a great point, because we're in a trust building business. And when you're on platforms like LinkedIn, your audience wants to know that you know what you're talking about. So if you're relying on AI, anybody can do that. So why should I go to you if that's what you are doing? I think that's a great final point. And just so you know, next week we are getting into how to develop content with AI and do it the right way so it sounds like you and distances yourself from the competition. But in the meantime, for the AmeriLife Marketing Mentors, I'm David Belleville.
And I'm Joe Barker.
And we'll see you next time.